Welcome back to the home gym today, guys. Eric, Coach Carp with Carp's Gym. We're here to take a look at a new bench that's out right now. It's new FID bench from Above Genius. Is it worth your hard-earned money? Or are you going to have to go chuck it in the woods?
A rake and throwing it into the woods.
What? I didn't break it. I was just testing its durability, and then I placed it in the woods.
Are you going to have to dump it in your nearest trash receptacle? Is it a smash? Is it trash? Is it crap? Or is it quality? Stick with me and we'll find out. Welcome back to the gym today, guys. If you don't know anything about this bench, well, you're not alone because I didn't either. They reached out to me and a few other guys in the home gym community. Want to do their bench from people that actually lift, that have home gyms, and want to see what their feedback was. I told them I will take a look at it, but that's all I'm going to say. Once I get it in and take a look at it and review it, I'll make a video if I think it's valuable to the community and if it's something I can recommend. So they sent it to me, and I told them from the get-go, hey, if I take it out, if I receive it, I'm going to do an honest review. You guys aren't going to tell me anything to say, but I'll be fair as I can. And if I like it, I'll do a giveaway for the community. So stick to the end today, guys, and see if there's a giveaway that you might be able to be a part of. So check that out. So this is the Above Genius FID adjustable bench. It is sold on Amazon. It's a new product that they came out with. And so the idea behind it was to build a bench that was better than some of the other top sellers on Amazon. And it looks like they've done a good job of that. It looks like they've checked out the things of the community and other reviews from other benches and tried to correct or improve any of those other shortcomings. And you'll see that kind of when we go over the bench, you'll see that there's some things that I really do like that they included and some things that I would change. But anytime I'm looking at a bench, whether it's FID or a flat bench, what I want to know is what is the height of the bench. So we'll go over some of the specs. That's what I told them when looking at it. I don't want a bench that is going to be, whether it's adjustable or flat, that is out of IPF standards. So I want it to be at least that the IPF specs go up to 7.7, I think. So any of these benches that are 17.5 inches and lower and not exceed that, sometimes you'll get these adjustable benches that are way too high or way too short. And starting there, so you can do bench press and multiple movements with it. I'm doing a powerlifting prep right now. So I primarily used it for bench press. And I got some pretty heavy weights on it. So I'll show you some B-rolls of that and show you some clips of that. What my experiences were using it. So what are the specs on this bench? They're gonna be in centimeters, but we're gonna go in freedom units because 97% of my audience and views are from the United States. So shout out to those 2% that we got up in Canada. I appreciate all you, and that 1% out in Australia. Thanks for watching, and then everybody else here from the U.S. So we're gonna use the freedom units. So the specs on this bench, we're gonna do in inches. So the height of the bench. So IPF specs are 42 to 45 centimeters, which is 16.5 inches to 17.7 inches. And the width of the bench, 29 centimeters to 32 centimeters. 11.4 inches in freedom units to a maximum width of 12.5, which is at least right in that range, which is exactly where you want to be no matter whether you're doing powerlifting or just bodybuilding or any kind of exercise movements. You want that standard height so you know you can get your form and everything correct. I cannot stand a bench that's too high or too short. So right in that range, give you, an inch or two here or there, which is exactly where you want to be. So the overall specs of this is do the measurements that I got here on a Craftsman tape measure. I put it on the scale and it does weigh in at 39.5 pounds, which makes it very easy to move around. The length of the bench is a total of 49 inches. That's the total pad area, and 57.5 inches, the entire length, plus the foot rollers that go on the front to hold your feet down if you're doing decline or other movements. The height of this bench is 17.5 inches. The gap in the seat is about 2.5 inches, which is a pretty wide gap, all things considered. But when you have it all the way down, and it's actually a zero gap bench. The total width of the pad is 12 inches, but it does taper to the top at 9.5 inches. That was some of the specs. So how does it work? How do you set it up? I'll even show you now. It's very easy to move, manipulate. It does stand up. It has a stand up option, which is great. One of the main questions I got is, do the foot rollers get in the way while you're benching? And as you can see here, no, they don't. There's just a pop pin here, and you can roll them all the way up and put that pin back in place. You might have to jiggle it in there a little bit, but just pop that pin right back in there, and then it actually folds up completely out of the way, and it's up under the bench. So you don't have to worry about getting a foot in place. Now, this is technically a double T four-post type bench, but what you can see is on the back, they did a much larger, longer back foot, so it's very stable. And then in the front, it's a smaller one, but it's around 12 inches or less. So you'll see that that's almost the same as these newer benches that are out, like the Rogue AB3 and the Blackwing and some of these new items that are coming out. They have a flat plate that goes on the front of it. So it's a one post with a wider plate on the ground, but it's a smaller front foot. So it gives you more stability without being a single post. It's not much bigger than a single post, but it does have the double rubber feet. So that's one thing to note. Besides the front feet leg roller attachment, one of the big questions we got was stability, the wiggle wobble test. So you just get here, and can you shake it? Can you make the bench go up off of its feet? And I'm really doing it. I'm really getting in there, and it's because of that back foot, it's not doing anything. And then, so how stable is the back plate? How stable is the back in the incline position? It's still very stable. That's me. That's my body moving. I'm not really getting much move at all right there. Even if I have some dumbbells, let's see what that looks like with the dumbbells. So even if I'm doing dumbbells, I'm pretty stable. There is just a little bit of play, but I can't really, I'm not rocking side to side or anything. Okay, as I said before, they designed this to have several improvements on some of the other best-selling Amazon benches out there. Like we mentioned Flybird and some of those other ones. Flybird is probably one of the best known, and it's usually around the $150 price point. And it has the cylinder type feet, which I personally hate, and I wouldn't like those at all. It doesn't look stable or feel stable to me. I've had a similar bench like that in the past. It wasn't the Flybird brand, but I've had some just like that, or look exactly the same, and I do not like that at all. So what have they done on this is they have included the smaller foot plate. It's not a one post, but it is smaller, so you're able to get your feet in there. Now the front leg rollers have 3 positions. They have the standard, the incline, or if you're doing decline work, and then all the way up under, out of the way. So it's not even in front of the bench at all. It's up under the bench. You may have seen that on some of the newer benches that are coming out with, like the Rep AB3000 new version. They actually have that where it goes up under. So you can tell they've been watching the community and seeing. Another option is this. There is a 2.5 inch gap here, but when you go to the decline option, you just pull that pin out. There's these two pop pins. You pull these pins out, decline, it's now a 0 gap. There's no gap here at all. And that's one thing you can tell that they've been watching the community. Most of the benches I recommend are the ones with a ladder style system. And this one, it is a ladder system, but it's an enclosed ladder system. So this pin here, I'll try to get you some B-roll of that too. This pin here where the bench is set into each grooves, it cannot pop out. You can't pick this up, it cannot pop out. So it keeps it in there so you don't have to worry about it popping out or moving out of space. They have a laser cut stainless steel riveted plate on here, and it shows you it has all the increments. It goes from negative 15 degrees in the decline to 15 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 75 degrees, and 85 degrees, which is looks about almost like 90. And there, even if you have the pin set up, you still have a zero gap in that position too. Another question we got was, how hard was it to manipulate the back pad? All you have to do, when you're going down, you might want to assist it because it'll fall into each one of those grooves as you go down. You just kind of put your hand on there to guide it down. But when you're going up, it's one-hand operation the whole way. One hand, I mean, that's pinky, you can do it with a finger. But on the way down, you're going to want to guide it out of those holes because it'll go right back into that hole each step down. So that's how I'm doing it. I just pop it out and then let it slide to the next hole, and then you're good to go. As far as the pad is a cheaper, slicker vinyl. It's not grippy at all. And then when you press down on it, I'll show you some books of that too. I put some weight on it, 50, 60 pound dumbbells, and it left a large imprint, but then 45 minutes, an hour later, it returned back to the original size. So the padding does have some compression, but it does have a bounce back factor where it does come back to where you'd want it. How easy is it to adjust? I'll just go through it real quick. This may turn out to be a longer video, but it'll be comprehensive. And that way you guys will answer some of the questions that we got online. It's made with these 2 D-tip pins. It pretty much comes mostly assembled. You just have a couple pieces you have to put on and tighten screws. The main parts of it are these 2 D-tip pins. When it's flat, you just adjust it up and down. That's all you need to do. But when you want to go decline, when you want to go to the decline, you go all the way to the flat position, and then you pull this pop pin or detent pin, and it'll drop down to the lowest position, and you can put that pin right back in. And so there you have that gap. Now to get this go down, you just pull this pop pin, folds right down, you're back to your zero gap. You replace that pop pin, detent pin. I'm going to say pop pin or detent pin, either way, you just replace that detent pin, and then you're ready to go for your, decline, bench, press, whatever. And you can adjust this and put your pin back however you want to do it. If you're doing the decline, you want it in the highest position, you can put it up here. If not, you can have it gone altogether or have it even lower, depending on your limb length. So if you're taller, you might want to have it adjusted to one of the other ones. But that's how simple it is. Now to raise it back up, pull that detent pin, and you're going to want to pull at the bottom of the head, because if you pull here, it's not going to come up. So you have to start it here, pull it up here, and then this one will come up. It locks into that lower position, and then you can put it in that lower position, and then you can just put your detent pin right back in there. And to raise this one up, you just pull that detent pin, pop it back up, and you're ready to go on flat again. And then one of the other things we want to make sure we included is that you did know that it does store upright. So the overall size of it does take up right about the same footprint as the Rogue AB3, and it does not have anything on the bench, but it does stand upright, so you can store it vertically like that. There's no handle on the front, but that front leg, or if you have the leg rolls out or in, you can grab the leg rolls right here and set it down that way. That's one thing you can do. It does have a listed weight capacity of 650 pounds, which is pretty decent for a budget home gym bench. It doesn't say what type of steel it's made out of, the steel grade or anything. It does say, I think on the website, it's 1.8 millimeter steel thickness, which I don't know what that is. So I just got me a metal gauge and I measured it. So it's mostly made up of 11 and 14 gauge steel. There are some of the thinner points where it's 14 gauge steel, but it seems to be 10, 11 gauge steel on all the other parts, especially the parts where it gets the most load. Lower spine section of the bench is 2 different steel bars. So that's probably why it's able to at least hold that. I've tried it to at least up to that with me on it, with weights on it, and I was okay with it. When I got to the really heavy weights, there was a little bit of flex on the back pad of the bench, but it held up well. I had my safety set and everything just in case. You never know. You don't want to end up something like this, But I don't think that's going to happen to you when you have solid parts, 11 gauge steel. When you have 14, 11 gauge steel, a lot of the budget squat racks out there are made of 14 gauge steel. And I know a lot of guys in the home gyms that lift a lot of weights on an Amazon rack or like a Rep Fitness 1100. Those budget racks, they're all made of 14 gauge steel. Will it hold up over time? I don't know. I've tried it. I've tried up to 600 pounds on it with my body weight and the bar and the bench, and I know it can hold up to at least that with a dynamic load. Do I recommend trying it much over that? I wouldn't. I tested it just to see, so I'll show you here what I got on it with a static load. A static load is not moving, it's not shaking or anything like that, but at least give you an idea. I know some of the other guys out in the community were sent this bench, like Big Joe over at Garage Gym Competition and Gray Matter Lifting. My Free Gym. I know Rob from Vintage Weights PGH. I think he got one to test out too. So those reviews may be coming down the line. So, don't just take my word for it. Those guys are probably going to have reviews and content out there coming on these. So, get everybody's opinion. But I think it's a decent bench. It's a solid bench for the price. We were all told that it was going to be a budget bench to compete with Flybird at around $200. And what I've seen at that $200 price point, that's where I would recommend something more like a Rep AB 3100 or a Rep AB 3000. I've had both of those. I've had different versions of both of them. And those are solid benches. I mean, the whole community would tell you those are solid benches. Once you get beyond $200, that's what I would look at. I wouldn't look at Flybird or any of the other benches out there. But this one coming in at sub 200. And then as it came out, we got more and more closer to time. We've also got it in our gyms and tried to check. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. It was around 140. So guys were thinking it's going to be about a $140 bench. And just from talking back and forth, DMs and things like that, we all seem to have a similar opinion that it's a solid bench for that price. But right now what's happening, it's been 119. And then today when I checked, just to check because we're doing the video, so I checked the price point today, it's at 109 with a $10 off coupon. So you could actually get this bench shipped to you. That's another great thing about it. It's free shipping. So you can get this bench sent to you for $100 right to your door. I think it's definitely worth $100 at that price point. It gets you an adjustable bench in the door, something you can start using immediately if you don't have a bench or adjustable bench at all. I think it's really valuable for you guys. I would not recommend it for powerlifting training, but for accessory work, dumbbells, I tried all these different things, even though I primarily did bench press. I'm in a powerlifting prep. But even though that's what I'm mainly doing right now, I did try it on the incline. I did accessory work. I did curls with it. I did seated rows and chest supported rows and all these different things I thought people would use. Shoulder press with dumbbells, things that I thought would be beneficial to you guys that I do as accessory work. But I'm in a prep right now, so I'm not doing as many of those as I would normally would. But that's where something like the tapered top really helps. So I'll show you some B-roll clips of that. So I've said a lot of good things about it because it surprised me. It's better than I thought it would be. That's really where I'm at on it. I think it could definitely be beneficial to anyone's home gym. And if you guys are out there benching 500 pounds, this is not the bench for you. Don't even look at it. But, if you're benching under 315, this one will serve you well, I think. If you've got kids, family members, you need a wife that needs a smaller bench, this one's not going to be a problem for you because you could easily move it around the bench no matter who you are. It's lightweight, it's easy to move, but it's stable. What did I not like about it? Well, there's a few things I would change. One is the steel thickness. I would like it to be a little bit thicker steel, but as I said, at that price point, it is what you get. The zero gap is a nice option, but I would like to see more adjustment in the front seat. So when you're using it in the different areas, I think when you get, like I showed you before, maybe you saw it in the clips, when I got to the very top, you can still do a zero gap in the very top, like military press. But as you move it, there's a gap. There's quite a bit of a gap. It's 2.5 inch gap, which I didn't have a problem with when I was benching because that's where the small of my back was. My butt was on the seat and my shoulders, I kept my shoulders to where the taper starts. That way I was still getting the 12 inch. I was still getting the 12 inch base. I don't like a wider bench. Some guys do, but I like to be mine around 12 inches for powerlifting standards. But you don't want to be benching way up here because it's too narrow. So, but that could also benefit you for accessory work because you can, you have more movement, row, curls, dumbbells, things like that. So what else would I change? Okay, the gap. I would like to see more adjustment with the bench gap, where as you decline or incline, this has more adjustment. Right now, it only has the two options, which is flat and decline. If there was a couple more adjustments, it could match up with the top and give you zero gap at all different levels. That would be really cool. You don't really see that in a budget bench, so that's cool that they did it here. I would like to see a 12-inch pad, maybe until you get closer to the top, or I'd like to see a 12-inch pad all the way. And then when you do stand it up in storage mode, I wish there was some type of plastic. It doesn't have to be plastic or just a foot there, because right now when you stand it up, it's just directly onto the pad, which it's designed to do. It's designed to stand up. So some of the other benches I've had in the past, like the AB 3100 or AB 3000, those will stand up as well. Just like my FB 5000, it's standing up over here. But the Rogue one is designed to do that. It actually has a foot plate on there that stands up on the plate. These, when you do it, it just stands up directly on the pad. So will that wear over time? Will it wear out faster? I don't know. Are you going to store it up vertically like that? If you are, that could be a thing. But it will step out of the way. Hopefully that was helpful today, guys. That's my review of the Above Genius adjustable bench. I'll put the link down in the description if you guys are interested in looking at this. Like I said, right now, that coupon is going on. Also, I'm doing a giveaway on Instagram. Check out Coach Carp76 over on Instagram. Enter that giveaway. We're gonna give away one of these on March 31st, which I believe is next Friday. So hopefully this comes out in time for you to enter. Anyone that enters has a chance, unlimited entries. So go check that out. So if you'd like to get one of these for free, or you want to check it out, I'll put the link in the description. Check out any other affiliate links. We have all those in the description as well. If you're interested in buying some, or if you have questions, let me know. Those links down in the description, how we support the channel. And we look to do more giveaways and more things for you in the future. Hope you guys have a good night or a great day. Thanks for watching. Coach Carp, we're out of here. Go lift. 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4. Testing.